Okay, so this is Cheyenne. I'm going to do a video about finding the angles of trigonometry. There is a sine, there is cosine, and there's tangent. There's a little prefix that helps you remember. It's SOHCAHTOA. And the sine is opposite side of an angle over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent side of an angle over a hypotenuse. And tangent is the opposite side of an angle over the adjacent side. The hypotenuse side is always the longest side of the angle, so that would be the hypotenuse. This would be the hypotenuse. And this one would be the hypotenuse. Okay, so the first one, we know this side would be considered the opposite. This side is the adjacent. So we know these two. So opposite over adjacent. And then we go back up here and choose which one of these is opposite over adjacent, and that happens to be the tangent. So it'll be 10 and then 5 over 12, which is 5 over 12. And then we have to take the inverse. And what the inverse mean is we just set the tangent -1, 5 twelfths. And then you put this in your calculator. And on the scientific calculators, I think it's you press second and then tangent. And that's the inverse function of the tangent. And the answer that we get for that one is 22.6 degrees. Okay, the next one, we know the hypotenuse, so that's the hypotenuse, and we know the adjacent side. So, adjacent over hypotenuse, that would be the cosine function. So we would do cosine of 4 over 13, and then we would take the inverse of the cosine, just like we did the first one, and you put that in your calculator, second cosine, of course, and then the answer we would get for that one is 72.1 degrees. And our third and final one, we know the hypotenuse side. Again, that's the longest side, and we know the opposite side. So it would be the opposite side and hypotenuse. So we go back up, and that is the sine. And so we do the sine of 5 tenths, and then we take the inverse of the sine of 5 tenths. And then for this one, put in the calculator, you would get 30 degrees. And that is how you find angles.